Hey everyone, Mike the Cop, and apparently I have really irritated a few Australians with a recent post of mine on Facebook. So you know what that means. It's absolutely time to
put another shrimp on the barbie.
Hey, let's take a look at what triggered so many Australians, cops, non-cops, whatever. I mean, Australia's a big place. I'm sure I haven't irritated everybody, but I certainly irritated a certain segment of folks. Let's take a look at what I said that was so bothersome. I said, any Australian cops enforcing this tyrannical bull bleep, yeah, I just don't feel like editing this very long and inserting bleeps, turn your badges in because you are disgracing them. Same thing goes for US cops. Quote unquote, just doing your job won't cut it. In the comments, I said, remember your oath. Obviously, I'm referring to United States cops there because I have no idea what the oath is in Australia, and I understand fully well that they don't have the United States Constitution. Now, the default position that I have is that I'm pro-law enforcement. I mean, that's a general benefit of the doubt that I give people who are willing to put themselves in harm's way for the sake of their communities. And I think that around the world, that's most places. But when police officers become a tool to oppress people from irresponsible or tyrannical governments, and they are ignoring essential or basic human rights, I have a problem with that. Now, while Survive the Streets Down Under didn't name me in their post, they do mention me in the comments and the fact that I'm an ex-cop, which is absolutely true. I've made videos about that. And the response has been pretty telling to me. So let's take a look at some of that and then I'll give you my thoughts. We are disappointed to see some US police pages are attacking our members down here. To be blunt, they can go screw themselves. First of all, expressing an opinion, words, I'm not attacking, I'm not attacking anyone. Words are violence. Articulating ideas, even ones that people will disagree with, and I'm not naive to think that everyone in the world is going to disagree with me just because I said something, but articulating my feelings or thoughts on a situation going on in the world regarding human rights and law enforcement's interaction with those people who are expressing those fundamental rights, that doesn't equate to attacking. It's illogical. It's rooted in nothing but emotional reaction and not grounded in anything that's objectively based. They're the same sort pages who mocked injured officers during the US election as it suited them for financial gain and they didn't want to upset their members. They're the same sort of pages who think wearing a mask is fascism. Okay, first of all, and again, I'll show you in the comments where basically my page is not only alluded to, but directed people are directing everyone there to go into the comments and stuff like that. So I'm attached to this. I'm getting lumped in with this, even if that particular paragraph was not intended for me specifically. I'm getting lumped in with this, and I have never, ever promoted mocking injured officers during any election, anywhere. I've never done that, and I certainly have not profited from it. So I'm not exactly sure what they're referring to. If they're lumping me in with that, then they're freaking smoking some extra special stuff in Australia. And no, I don't think wearing a mask is fascist, but I definitely think forcing people to wear a fabric in public is fascist or totalitarian or religious extremism, wherever you find this. We stand beside all Australian officers doing their duty and know how many of you have been involved in these protests. Keep our community safe and hold the line. Something that should scare everyone is when the government says, us forcing you to give up your rights is to keep you safe. Keeping people safe is ensuring that they have the ability to express themselves with basic human rights. That's keeping people safe. Like, for real. Goes on to say these pages, who we won't mention by name, should worry about their own failing nation. A-holes. Well, in my post, that's exactly why I also addressed US cops doing the same thing and calling them out for it. There is no duty or just doing my job in which you violate people's basic human rights. And in the United States, we're not talking about just a recognition of basic human rights. We're talking about constitutional rights enshrined in law, as we are to be a nation of laws. One person says we should respect what this guy says, and shows this comedic cop aerobics video that I had done before. Apparently, because you have a sense of humor, you cannot be trusted to say anything else that is not only directly intended to be comedic. That's great. And just so that you can see, I'm not just inserting myself into the situation. We have a guy asking, was this Mike, in reference to me, and Survived the Streets Down Under said, nothing more X than an X. I have another fan here that says, I've only had 5 minutes on the job. 5 minutes, 11 years, whatever, who's counting? One guy said I've become a complete cockwomble? I don't know what that is. Is that good there, or is that bad? It sounds bad. Then we've got somebody saying, like, nearly as gay as that profile pic. My response, you struck a chord of truth when the only comebacks are personal attacks. That's so true, right? Like, if you have nothing of substance to say, you just attack the person. I didn't attack any particular cop. It's just that the shoe must fit. The shoe must fit so well that they had to dedicate an entire post to talking about how well it fit. The reality, guys, of what's going on in Australia is that there are police officers enforcing even curfews, right? In New South Wales, they're enforcing curfew times. They're limiting the range of free movement of citizens there. They're even limiting citizens to an hour of exercise. So what's interesting is all this talk about this is for our health, this is for our safety, and so we need the police to enforce these lockdowns to corral people who are out freely moving or freely expressing themselves in public, that we need to use force to do that against their own population or our own population here in the United States, because the same thing applies here, in my opinion. If you do this, you're a freaking tyrant. You're a disgrace to the badge. It's that simple. But what's interesting about limiting people to exercise or limiting, there's some areas of Australia where you have a radius that you cannot go outside of. If you can't get enough food, doesn't matter. Don't have any friends or family in there, doesn't matter. You do what we say because it's what we think is best for you and your health, physical or mental. And the problem with that is that how come we don't then, and that goes for here too, if being healthy is our best chance against such things, then how come we're not banning freaking fast food, or we're not banning high fructose corn syrup, or we're not doing all kinds of other things? Why aren't we mandating, instead of mask mandates, how come we're not mandating people do a few push-ups or something? But no, so many people are happy to just suck off the tea to the government because they're keeping us safe. Well, it's nonsense, and I'm not going to change my opinion about it because my opinion is rooted in the fact that I believe in essential human liberties. And wherever cops are by force inhibiting the practice of essential human liberties and freedoms, I don't think it's good. Do you? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm sure there'll be some interesting ones just like that page. All right, see you guys.